So one of my favorite my mediumship. So I will be spending two 2 hours of free readings, and I a little bit of a break, and then hop on my Facebook and do some free readings for a couple hours. Do and just reminder, I mentioned it last week, but my website is up and it is so much better, and you can now book your private reading through there, or parties, or even I do Reiki. So if you're wanting any kind of energy healing, then you can go right directly there and schedule. And it is so nice now. It's saving me so much time. And I feel very grateful, very, very grateful for the gal that I've hired as an assistant, which my schedule's gotten so busy I needed to. So crazy, amazing, more good things coming. And just on out, it is mini-medium.com. So mini-medium.com. And on there, you can see all of the fun stuff and testimonials now, and pictures and events and all this. So have some really fun events that I have been invited to in September. So if you're in the Utah area, or if you want to just come out and visit, come out and see me at those events. But well, I always laugh every time I see been connection with all of my gifts. And so the number 10 has been very and for my gifts. My sign for October, 10 is going to be the 10th of a month. 10 will there's a connection there. So messages in, and then we validate them. Just the beautiful synchronicities. And count the 10. Not wasn't too sure how we're having, these. So I went outside and took my cute little mini schnauzer. Her name's Gypsy, and went outside and sat in the grass, put my feet in, and just enjoyed grounding, and it just helped. And so this fits perfect. So I soothe away anxiety and stress by choosing to do the things that help me relax. So I hopefully, especially during the supermoon, that you all can to relax in case this energy or regardless of the moon energy, right? So I am excited, and seeing how go can feel the energy has been pretty. My first, and this is Audrey. Tonight.
I was hoping to connect with someone.
Okay. Okay. Right. Mentioning how just incredible that when we have these, full moons and these super moons, that the veil is so thin between us and the other side. So today is a beautiful day and perfect, especially for mediums to connect with the other side. So I'm gonna just take a moment. It'll be quiet for a little bit here, so bear with me. I just want to see
Okay.
what I can get. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just one. Okay. So one of the things that I do, kind of a tool that I use, or a way of channeling, is by doing automated writing, or it's also called psychography. And that's where just kind of scribbling and writing things, and it helps to get the energy and everything out. And it also helps to open up those channels to your loved ones. Um, okay. Um, okay. I want to ask first, the feeling I'm getting right now, and this is where I really love when I don't know anything about who you're wanting to channel. Some will ask for names or birth dates, but I really like to start very raw. And uh, the first um, the first feeling I'm getting immediately is very male driven. I'm going very male, it's an energy that I've just, after 27 years of doing this, I just know if it's male or female. Um, so may I ask, is the person you were hoping to connect with, is this a male?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. Um, and then as I was starting to bring him in, uh, immediately I kept seeing the number 17, so 1 7, and this is going to be, the 17th of a month, the age of 17. Occasionally, this can be January 7th. This is how I channel. Do you connect with that number 17 right away?
Not really. Yeah, not really.
Okay, okay. So please just keep that in mind. There's some reason why that number has been very predominant and very strong. Now, okay, let me ask, do you have any, uh, as far as who this male is, um, which is the 17th, and there's where I feel like he's trying to get me um, to it's almost like playing charades some days. But anytime I see that holiday, I can't help but think of drinking, and I mean, that's what we do on St. Patrick's Day in a sense. But and then he really is showing me, um, you know, some issues with either drinking or with the liver, because he's shown me that green, which is also the sign of liver. Do you connect with that with him?
Um, I think in his past, like maybe like he had issues with that, but not leading up to his death. No.
Okay, that's okay. But he was old enough to be able to drink and have a good time and party. Is that right? This was not
Yeah.
unusual. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Um, okay. Um, Oftentimes I will also get names, and one of the names that I'm hearing, I get them in syllables, and very kind of cryptic like as well. But I keep getting, boy, I keep seeing the letter E, and so I'm getting, like uh, yeah, like an Evan or Edward. But I keep seeing an E, and then he shows me, and then I hear Travis or Trevor, so TR. Do you connect with that name?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I have no one presently with a letter T name that passed or some like family or friends or anything like that.
Okay. Do you, I feel like he's addressing the TR, so Travis or Trevor Trent. It seems to me this is like a mutual friend, whether they're still living in they're here in the physical or in the spiritual realm. But there's a significance of why that name's important. So if it's not resonating right away, I want you to keep in mind of even just close friends, because there's definitely a connection with even that name being involved or knowing more about his passing. So, so please keep that in mind, okay?
Sure.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me what his name is, please?
Everyone just called him Jay.
Just the letter J?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, couple things that I'll tell you, he's really, yeah, there definitely is some connection with the T and the R, with the T and R, because he's not letting this go. So, in this very well, if this is your person you're wanting to channel, this J, but yeah, okay. With his passing, how do you connect with, immediately I'm getting tingling in my head and within my neck. So I've got a lot of connection with the head or the neck area. Did he pass of anything of the head or the neck?
He used to get headaches.
But pretty predominantly. I mean, we're talking pretty not as standard everyday headache that people deal with. This seems to be like there was more to issues that he struggled with when he was here. So, and even the sense of that, well, I'll tell you, yeah. May I ask, did they, and you can say just yes or no, but did they do an autopsy on him?
Yeah, they performed one. I'm not sure if they did a toxicology, but yeah, they definitely did the autopsy.
Okay. I feel like there's more to, boy, please keep that T name, that TR, like, and then, even not so much it has to be male, but he's very much showing me that, like, Teresa, or, but they are still here in the physical world. They are still living, but they know more about his passing. And really just, he mentions the autopsy and that they need to be more mindful, I guess, if you will, of something to do with the head, with the impact of what happened, even with the head. So, and or the neck, by the way. And
Okay.
yeah, did this happen literally within just the last 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's very fresh. He says he's still transitioning, but he really needs Boy, I'll tell you the next thing I just heard from him. Boy, I know I've got another caller, but soulmate, long-term love towards you. So whether that tend to, whether it be October over.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that
Okay. Okay. I just I just heard, this is what happens when my clairaudient kicks in. And I just heard so I want you to keep in mind this is someone who is still here in the physical world, but has that October birthday, or has a birthday coming up here in the next week within 10 days. So someone on the other side is very adamant that that we recognize that. So, but keep that in mind if it doesn't click right away, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do you connect with, I don't get this name or this letter very often, but I keep hearing the very V name, like V, like Violet or Veronica or Victor. So I'm getting that strong V name that has crossed over, that has passed.
No.
Okay. Okay. I have a feeling that okay. I feel like you'll connect with this because I'll tell you, and really who I'm starting to feel that is starting to come through. Well, you've got a lot, my friend. There's a lot of energy, and they're correcting me in the sense that in Roman numerals the V is the number 5. So this isn't so much the V name as it is the Roman numeral, which is 5. So this is going to be the month of May, or the 5th of a month. Yeah, okay. Who is the grandmother that has passed that's connected to you? But I feel she's she's. Oh, go ahead, hon. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying yes. My grandma.
Okay. Okay. Now, does that 5 connect with her that you are connecting with or aware of?
No.
Okay. She says yes. I hear her say, tell her yes, that this is now. May is also Mother's Day, so Mother's Day is very much. She's very much referring to that being a relationship or connection you had with her. So were you very close with this grandmother?
Yes.
And do you connect with, I'm getting Marianne. I'm getting MAR.
Mariah.
And who is Mariah?
She was one of my good friends.
Okay, and she has passed?
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting because your grandmother, even as I feel that very mother energy coming from her, she's really having to help Mariah come forward. There's a sense of needing your grandmother's energy to help her to channel. And so I feel that, okay. Okay. Your friend Mariah just, there's a sense of, she shows me the number 21. And so, and then she's shown me the two of you just being, or if you went out to bars all the time, you partied all the time, but there's that connection of having that relationship together. And I really feel too, I know I have a couple minutes here, but this friend, Mariah, I do feel that she is, well, I'll tell you, you guys are a lot like soul sisters, that feeling I'm getting from her. Do you understand that connection that she's showing me?
Yeah, we were close, like more like family than friends.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, well, I'll tell you, my friend, this is where I knew this was going to happen tonight because there's so much going on with this full moon. I've got about 45 seconds, but the connection I want you to know with her really is, and I hear her say to just let you know that, and I just hear her over and over, I wasn't afraid to die, that I'm okay. I just hear her say, I'm okay, I'm at peace. So I hope that even just that little bit can give you some comfort, and also knowing that she's with your grandma, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And if you are interested, hop on my Stephanie's Tarot reading page tonight on Facebook, and we may be able to continue and pick up more, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hon, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, perfect. Oh, these nights go by fast. Well, I am your mini medium, you guys. Thank you so much Tonight was crazy, but I will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Which is earlier because this week is this week and last week was last week. I'm stone cold sober too. It's kind of a pity. We were talking about psychics in history. We talked about the Fox sisters who founded spiritualism. We talked about the Oracle of Delphi, who advised kings and queens and empresses, and used to do her readings. By her, I mean there were about 20 of them in a row because it was an inherited position. Either that or you auditioned. Maybe it's sort of like, well, I'm trying to think how you would audition for that. Anyway, the Oracle of Delphi was a very famous oracle of ancient times who was consulted by kings and queens and famous generals. And she would issue her proclamations while suspended in a hammock over a fissure in a crack in the earth, out of which leaked naturally created sort of, how can I put this, hallucinogenic and psychogenic gases. She also drank a lot, and she had a, and maybe she didn't, that's what history says, I don't want to slander her. Kimono, check, hold on, there we go. Woo. All right. She also had a little charcoal brazier filled with hallucinogenic and psychotropic, that's our word for the week, psychotropic herbs. So the fact that she could say anything, frankly, was kind of impressive. And this week, just going to touch briefly on the role of intuition in things like science and history, which is going to be more interesting than it sounds, because that's how the bones of King Richard III, who lived in the 14th century, I guess, which is the 1300s, were found in about 15 years ago in a supermarket parking lot. No, nobody had thrown them out of the window. There was a group of archaeologists who knew that he was buried around there somewhere, but by somewhere, I mean like a half-mile radius. And, that's a lot of places to start digging randomly. But one of the archaeologists had this sudden intuitive, we'll say sort of psychic, air quotes, flash. And she said, over there. She pointed to this they were in the parking lot at Tesco, which is an English, this was in England, an English supermarket. And they started digging, and there he was. I guess turned out to be Richard III, famous hunchback king. We're not sure if that sounds a little politically incorrect. So, but that's what he was known as in his time. There are also a lot of examples from science history about how, for instance, various great scientists came up with huge intuitive flashes, but we'll get onto that next week. This week, I'm briefly going to tell a ghost story, do the psychic weather, and you guys are going to call in, which you're already doing, which I love you for. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So briefly, I'm just thinking about it because today is the anniversary of when this took place. It was August. I grew up in an 1830 sort of converted farmhouse in Valley Cottage, New York. It's now a shrine. No, I'm kidding. But feel free to make a pilgrimage or just send me money. So I was 13 or 14, 13, and this was back in the days when usually houses just had one or two really efficient air conditioners, not like now. And I was sleeping in the top floor in the attic room. It had the best air conditioner, not in my room. I never liked going into that room as a kid because it always had this really kind of, how can I put this? Kind of, well, creepy. It had a creepy vibe. My older brothers slept up there. They were all off at college. So I was sleeping in this room, which I didn't usually do. And I woke up at about 3 a.m, don't know why, and standing next to my bed was a woman. She was about 5'1". I knew she wasn't my mom because my mom had blonde hair and was tall, and this woman had very straight, dark black hair parted in the middle. Also, she was wearing sort of an 1845 dress, like you see in sort of old movies about pre-Civil War times. Went all the way to the ground. It was black and white. And also, my mom's not see-through, and this woman was. And she just stood there for about 3 minutes, right next to my bed. I wasn't scared at the moment. That's the thing about seeing a ghost. I don't know about you, but if you've ever seen a ghost, you'll know that you're usually not scared when it's happening. Afterwards is when you freak out a little. That's okay. So she stood next to my bed, and her energy was very kind of like, how can I put it? Her energy was kind of like, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. And I sort of went, what? She said, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. She had really sort of sad, needy, crazy energy. Kind of like party I was at about a few years ago, when very crowded party in New York City. And I stopped to ask some young lady the directions to the ladies' room. She started desperately telling me about her breakup. Kind of the same energy, except she wasn't see-through either, but this one was. So she just stood there and stared at me for 4 minutes and then disappeared from the ground up, like that. So I got up, looked around. There was nobody in the room. And I went downstairs to go get some milk and cookies, because when you're 13, milk and cookies are very comforting. Actually, very comforting at any age. And my mother was up. My mother was a very serious kind of, she was an Ivy League history professor, very serious intellectual. And I said, she'd woken up because she heard me walking around. She said, "Why are you up?" And I said, "Mom, I just saw a ghost." She said, "Oh, darling," which is how she talked. "Oh, darling, no, you didn't." That was a hallucination created by a storm between the hemispheres of your brain. I'm like, uh-huh. I said, "Mom, it was a ghost." She said, "Well, was she about 5'1" with very long dark hair parted in the middle and sort of a black and white 1845 long dress on?" I said, why, yes, she was. Why, yes, she was. And she said, "Oh, darling, she doesn't exist. I've walked through her twice on the second floor." So that's one of my true ghost stories. I have a lot of them, unfortunately. Um, anyway, so please call in. We've got some callers waiting, but I like reading for as many people as possible. So, oh, Catherine, there you are in Denver,
Hello.
Colorado.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
I am.
I'm just going to quickly do the psychic weather. So, while I'm doing sort of the tarot psychic weather, I'm going to ask you to think about your question and to breathe in this way. I want you to breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly like you're blowing out a birthday candle like this. It's not very dignified, but it activates the vagus nerve. I'll be about 2 minutes. So Catherine, I love that name, with a K. So I'm going to ask you to just do that for about 3 minutes while I do the psychic weather. And then you, my darling, are the focus of my very existence. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Nice to hear your voice. Okay. Oh, so the psychic weather goes like this. There is a card for the first part of the week starting today. Well, that's the next 2.5 days. Then there's a card for the middle of the week. So it's kind of over the weekend. And then there's a card for the end of this week. So like Monday, Tuesday, beginning of Wednesday. Are we cool? All good? Good. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, that's interesting. The week starts out a little rocky, which I'm not surprised. There is a full moon. People get cranky. Why is this blurry? I'm just going to put it here. Ta-da! So this card is, it's funny, I don't, it's like my phone just suddenly got like myopic or something. So this card is the Five of Wands. Now the Five of Wands can often mean that you're jockeying for position in some way. It can mean that you're kind of maybe having some bumps at work, or you're getting maybe just starting a new job, or in your office or your workplace, you might be having a little bumpy time because 5 is a number of change. And when you're making sort of a good change, often things around you kind of get a little up in the air. People get a little, how can I put this? People get a little cranky. So you might be fighting for position. The good news is you're going to win. And you might be offered something, because this is another card. I'm going to put it here. It's the Four of Cups. Ta-da! And as you'll see, the Four of Cups is a guy sitting under a tree, and he is being offered a golden cup from a cloud. And he's looking at the 3 golden cups he has in front of him, and he's saying, sure, I'd like another golden cup, but I'm a little, can you come back next week? And so this is about, you might be offered an opportunity this week. I love doing that. Where it might seem like it's something that you thought you wanted. I'm getting all pixelated here, not me personally, the screen. But you might feel like, you know what, I'm going to wait for the next time this opportunity comes around. My advice is, if you get offered something good this week, just take it. Even if you're too sleepy, or if it's Tuesday, or if you don't feel like it, or you have to put the cat out, just take the opportunity. It's going to work out really well for you. And the last card towards the end of the week, it's a wonderful card. It's a Healing Triumph. Ta-da! Healing Triumph card. As you can see, the guy is riding a horse who's covered with what seems to be a green tablecloth. What this represents is healing. It represents he's riding home from a battle that has not been fought with swords. There's no bloodshed, he's riding home from a battle about honor and glory. And so it means that something, especially something healing that you might have been battling with for a long time, is really going to work out for you. And P.S., you're going to get a lot of sort of mad respect from those around you. So let's see. So the week starts out, if it seems like it's a little rocky at the beginning this week, it's going to be fine. You're just actually making a change for the better. And sometimes when we change for the better, as the writer Henry Miller said, when you exceed your known expectations, do not expect the approval of family or friends. Middle of the week is you're going to be offered something you might not feel like taking it. Take it anyway. It's going to be really good for you. And at the end of the week, you're having a healing triumph with a lot of respect and appreciation. Thank you. Yay. That's our psychic weather week. Catherine, are you still there, my angel?
Hello. I am. Thank you so much. I'm so
Hello.
grateful to speak with you.
Oh, I was so happy to hear your voice. Such a nice voice.
Thank you.
And I like
Grateful. Thank
to, it's true. I like to connect people through their birthdays. So if you could possibly tell me when your birthday is, you don't have to tell me the year.
April 11th.
Oh, we love Aries in this show. Aries women. Yes.
Oh, good. Good.
So, okay, my dear.
Yes.
No,
Welcome.
really, I just adore Aries women. But the thing about you guys
Oh,
is,
thank you.
it can be, Mark Twain once said, if you want to be lonely, tell the truth. And if you ask an Aries, especially Aries woman, a question, just make sure that you're ready to hear the truth because you guys don't mess around. And I love that about you. So how can I help you today?
That's so true.
I know, right?
Thank you. I have a couple of concerns, if you don't mind. I am concerned about my financial world. I've been laid off. Well, I got forced into early retirement for the job that I love. I've attempted another career and got laid off recently, and so I'm curious about my career path, my financial stability, and the love of my life. And lastly, I've been in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'm just getting really frustrated because I'm supposed to be sent to a rehab hospital the last 4 days in a row. I keep getting denied by the insurance. I'm just getting really frustrated sitting here. Like I just want to go home desperately, and I just don't know what to do. So I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. And I usually take antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine. They haven't been giving me any since I got admitted about 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago. So mentally, I'm kind of having a little bit of a breakdown as well.
Oh, sweetheart. First of all, it's funny because it almost seems like the tarot weather for this week applies to you. You are going to be out of the, you're in the hospital, you said, right?
Currently, yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But absolutely, I spent so much time in the hospital and it's no fun. And besides, what is with the food? Like last time I was there, dinner was like, they said it was a hamburger, but I'm like, no, this is fried gorilla heart. I'm sorry, I don't eat fried gorilla heart. The good news is that I feel, yeah, you had a string of really crappy luck, and I'm really sorry. What's interesting is neither of the layoffs had anything to do with you. It had to do with the kind of the company wasn't doing well. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You do have. Are you? Do you do something related to design, graphic arts, or something like that? I mean, problem is I'm seeing you working on a computer, but that's
22 years in
everything these days.
aviation. No, I spent 22 years in aviation, got forced to early retirement after I had a stroke, and then I started working in the financial industry. After 9 months, I was laid off again. Because I'm trying to rebuild myself in so many ways, and just been kind of flailing.
But one of my close friends here works in aviation. I understand why I got graphic because I was seeing a blueprint of a plane, but I thought it was like you were designing that. So, first of all, I'm really sorry. Second, let me pick a couple cards for you here. And I really mean that. Okay. It feels too like there's going to be, I think you might have experienced, you said you had a stroke, which really is just, that's such a terrible thing to go through. And I love how totally non-self-pitying you are. You have such a wonderful way of just kind of being in this situation and you're not complaining. You're just stating the facts, and that's such an unusual and beautiful
Yeah.
quality. So
To be honest with you, in
really good for you.
2017, I was brought back from a flatline twice. I was pronounced dead twice in 2017. And I was told I had 1% chance of living. If I lived, I would never walk, talk, or feed myself again. So I'm blessed to be alive as it is.
Oh my God, you're a living miracle. I've had a near-death experience
Truly.
too. Well, we have a lot in common, and I really feel for you. What I really feel, and I'm not just saying this to make you feel better, because if you watch the show, if I don't really do that. First card I'm getting is the Hierophant card, and it's a weird word. What it actually means, I'm putting it there so you can see it. What the Hierophant card means is that there's some sort of government or institutional or some sort of financial protection coming in for you. You might not be aware of it, but there's something.
I've applied for disability and been denied.
Oh, what? I'm going to go get them.
Yeah,
You
denied
stay
twice,
here.
even though I have a letter from my primary care physician saying I have a permanent disability.
Oh, darling.
But
This is a lot.
yeah, it's been a lot lately.
One thing yeah, no, that's. I mean, you make Job look like an amateur, and I'm sorry because you're a lovely person. I'm very sorry you have to go through this. This is something I've said before, and people have called me and said, "Thank you, I got a lot of money out of this." If you go to your state's website, like I'm in New York, I go to newyork.gov and go to the comptroller's office and look for unclaimed funds, unclaimed property. It's amazing what you can get. I got 10 years ago, I got $16,000 out of that, but I had no idea. No idea.
Wow, that would change my world right now. Like I'm in an overdraft situation in my bank account. Anything would change my life right now.
So I would try that. Go to I forget what state you're calling from because I have the attention span of a
I'm in Colorado.
duckling.
So go to Colorado and for unclaimed assets.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, go to Colorado .gov. Go to the comptroller. Okay. It just unclaimed funds. It's free. All you have to do is submit, some papers essentially proving you're you, which you are. I can tell. So that's because I'm getting the Hierophant card. I'm also thinking that there are pension funds that you don't know you have.
Oh God.
The last.
That'd be amazing.
Because the heart. Yeah, I would do some research, and if you're not up to it, go on something like Fiverr and hire a kid to work for you for $10 an hour. Okay, 20. And to do some of this stuff for you because you need all your energy for healing. But the unclaimed funds thing is really easy. That takes 5 minutes. I just get the feeling that there is money you don't know about. The other thing is you are an extremely proud person and you never ask for help. You don't. I know this about you. And I'm right.
Kind of areas like I'm like true I am. Like I'm gonna do myself no matter what you tell me, Like and it made me I'm a recovered drug addict and it made me really great. Drug addicts like tell me no, I'm gonna do it twice anyway,
Yeah. Friend of Bill's. I hear you. Oh, I love that. God, you are so strong. The second card I got for you is it's the World card. This is an unusual deck, but what it says is, "Good morning, the world awaits you." So, I take it from somebody who have been in I had traumatic brain injury. I couldn't speak for a year.
We have a lot in common. I have a traumatic brain injury as well. I was brain dead for a couple hours. I have a lot of residual brain death.
Well, what I'm getting is that the year 2024 is your year. And you are just get through the next 2 weeks because there is money coming in. There are also the reason I said that thing about you not asking for help is there are a lot of people who want to help you. A lot of people who really care about you. You're really, really giving, and you never ask for anything in return. It doesn't even occur to you, and don't even try denying that because I know that's true. So
yeah, without a doubt.
If worse comes to worse, you have an ex-husband out there somewhere?
No, I've never been married. I'm 44 years old. Been single my entire life, and I've always
So
wanted
there's a
to
lot.
be, in a
Oh, you
sort
will
of
be.
typical way. So be a wife. Oh God bless you.
Oh, you've got
do
a
have-
long life ahead of you too.
I have partners that I'm with
Wow,
now.
you've
We've been
got
together
at
about
least
5 years.
at least 25 years. The reason I said there's somebody who you were involved with for a while. It's got kind of a
Yep. Almost 5 years now, and he's in the middle
Yeah.
of getting out of a very abusive relationship. But he is, without a doubt, the love of my life. We always joke around that
Yeah.
our love is written in the stars.
Oh, I think, yeah, no, he is the love of your life. And luckily, because this doesn't always happen this way, you're the love of his. So,
Oh,
always like to be asked for help. Well, people who love you like to be asked for help. So,
Yeah.
we've got 2 minutes.
And
So I'm going to say,
he's literally saved my life. Like a couple of times, literally. I had a stroke on the
Yeah.
airplane. He was with me on the airplane. He saved my life. So.
he's always going
Both
to be
functionally.
the person. Yeah. I love that he did that. And I love that you something I've never said to somebody on the show before, and I've been doing this for 5 years. Girl, you're here for a reason. If only to inspire other people. You've gone through so much. Believe me, as somebody who, you and I have a lot more in common than I'm going to go into in public, but
It's like we should just be sitting down to have a glass of wine together.
well, in my case, maybe a glass of milk.
That'd be fine too.
I would love that.
Oh.
But I'm on Facebook. I'm Perry Lyons, PeriLyons, because we only got 60 seconds. What I'd like you to do is reach out to me, and I'm going to give you a little free time on me. So reach out to me. I'm going to give you a bit of a free reading because you deserve it. And also, there's something I'm getting for you that I don't have time to tell you, but it's really encouraging. So basically what I'm going to say here is you're going to be with that guy you're supposed to be, and you are going to be okay. There's going to be money coming in within 2 weeks, but get in touch with me on Facebook, okay? And
Will you spell your last name one more time, please?
oh, sure. My first name is Perry, P is pneumonia, E-R-I, like Periwinkle. My last name is Lyons, Lyons. If you go to my website,
definitely reach out to you.
PerryLyons.com, yeah, please do. And
I will for sure.
I've got 10 seconds, so I'm going to send you my love. And I just want to let you know it's going to be okay. It really is. I don't say that if I don't mean it. And I have a really high accuracy rate. Love you.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for the Wendy McCallum Show with Wendy McCallum. Wendy McCallum. Live from divineintuition.co.uk. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Wendy McCallum Show on A1R, the Ask One Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome. My name is Wendy McCallum. I'm a psychic medium from the UK. I'm sorry, in the UK, and originally from Scotland. So thank you for taking the time to join me this evening. So obviously I work as a professional medium. I've done quite a few readings this week, and I've been noticing that people are struggling a little bit. We've had a filming, and what spirit have been making me aware of is that within a new moon, or with the full moon, comes a vibrational shift, or an energy increase, and it makes people feel just a little bit unsettled. And I've been thinking about it and thought to myself, you know what? We forget to ask our angels for help, you see. So I thought I would talk a little bit this week about angels, because angels cannot come in and do anything with our asking is. You've got to invite them, you've got to ask them, and they will do anything they can to help you and assist you. And I've got a list of 15 angels here, you know, and each angel does specific things. We've probably all heard of Archangel Michael, because he's the most prominent angel, or prominent archangel. And Archangel Michael helps those that are struggling a little bit, you know, that need a little bit of courage, that need a little bit of confidence, that maybe you're feeling a bit scared about things, you know, just like me when I'm doing this radio show, because I'm really quite scared, yeah, and I always ask the angels to come in and help me and assist me in whatever way they can, so that I will lift my energy, or they will help me to feel confident. So Archangel Michael is the protector. He's the one that comes and protects us. And you've probably seen him with these lovely swords, you see. And he helps us that maybe if we've absorbed energy, or we've got some negative energy. And people talk about energy vampires. I don't really like that word, to be fair. But it just basically means that somebody is a little bit needy, and they've kind of, when you've spoke to them or whatever, then they've connected with you energetically, and they're just taking they just need a little bit, they need you, they're a little bit needy, you see, and they just kind of absorb your energy a little bit, because they might need a little bit of help, they might be a bit sad or whatever. And that's basically what an energy vampire is. But I think that word conjures up all sorts of scary thoughts in the mind, and there's nothing scary about it whatsoever. So we always invite Archangel Michael to come in and remove things. So what I'm going to do at the end today is maybe do just a very quick meditation, or a very quick invocation to ask Archangel Michael to come in and help us. But we've got lots and lots of lovely angels, 15 of them in fact. So we've got Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel helps us with nature. Archangel, so if you're going camping or hiking or something like that, that would be the perfect angel for you to ask for help there, or to Archangel Ariel also helps us to connect with the elementals, so like the fairies, things like that as well, if that is what you're interested in. And then we've got Archangel, I'm going to start with the A's and then what done. Okay, so we've got Archangel Azrael. Now, Archangel Azrael is the angel of death, but it's not what you think. This lovely archangel helps us when people are passing over, and it helps with their transition, and it also helps us when we're needing that support when we've lost a loved one, because it's a pretty tough time, you know, and that's what Archangel Azrael is. So invite I'm going to get tongue-tied while I try and say this. Azrael in, if you're struggling with things like that. And then we've got the lovely Archangel Chamuel. Chamuel is the Archangel of lost items, as well as if you're looking for something. So if you're looking for a job, or you've lost your keys, or his name's actually the Eyes of God. So if you're looking for something, then Archangel Chamuel will come in. Now, also we have, oh my goodness, my brain, patron saint of lost items, St. Anthony. And Catholicism is the patron saint of lost items. And if you've lost something, like it could be, a wedding ring or something really sentimental and important. Do you know what? I lost my grandmother's wedding ring many years ago, and she gave it to me. Well, it was given to me after she passed away, and I was heartbroken that I had lost that ring, and I looked for it everywhere, and I asked Archangel Chamuel and St. Anthony to bring it back to me. Do you know what? It must have been over 10 years later. It was directly above where I was sleeping on in my bed. I had some units built and it was there. But the amazing thing was, when I lost that ring, those units weren't built because my house was flooded. We lost everything. And during that period, I had my bedroom completely refurbished. So everything had been taken out the room. And there was no other explanation as to why my grandmother's ring was looking down on me. That's a lovely story. So we've got Archangel Chamuel. We've got Archangel Gabriel, which is the creative angel who helps actors and writers, singers, dancers, anything creative. Or if you're struggling for looking for words for a conversation, or you have to do a public speech or something, perfect. We've got Archangel Haniel, which is about your spiritual gifts and spiritual growth. And then you've got Archangel Jeremiah. Again, he helps with your spiritual gifts. And he's does life review. His name's the Mercy of God. And they help with spiritual gifts. I am stuttering well tonight. Need to get my teeth back in. Archangel Jophiel as an angel of positivity. So an angel of cleansing your space, cleansing. It's also known as a Feng Shui angel, and just things that need cleaning up. So if your mind's needing cleaning up or whatever, your mind's too cluttered, invite that Archangel Jophiel forward. You've got Archangel Metatron, which this archangel gives you additional time if you need it. He helps with study or to arrive somewhere on time. Archangel Raguel is an angel to help resolve problems and issues and conflict. And then we've got Archangel Raphael, which is the healing angel, which you've probably all heard of. So Archangel Raphael's name means God heals. And so if he's also known as a bit of a matchmaker. So if you're looking for a partner or somebody or a partnership business, and the light and then, my lovely friends, we have Archangel Raziel. It's kind of like a wizard of the archangel realm, very magical, and help you understand your historic information, your gifts, and help you heal from past life issues or interpret your dreams or things like that. And his name means the secrets of God. Please excuse me because my throat's drying up. Okay. So, and then we've got Archangel Salf and Sandalf. I can never say these things. Sandalphon. And they help with music. And this is a little bit answering your prayers. So when you feel as if your prayers are not being answered, you can call upon Sandalphon. Archangel he's known to personally carry the prayers to God, and he makes sense of the prayers. So I hope that helps you there. And then we've got Archangel Uriel. And if you need a brilliant idea, or if you're looking for ideas or what to do about the next phase of your life, then call upon Archangel Uriel along with Archangel Gabriel, because they can help as well together. And Archangel Uriel's name is means the light of God. And then the last angel I've got on my list today is Archangel Zadkiel, and it means the righteousness of God. And he's the tutor of the angelic realm. So he's the one that helps with you taking your exams, passing tests, things like that. So if you get a bit nervous, then call upon that angel. He also helps you with forgiveness, and it's about forgiveness from yourself and others. So as we mentioned earlier, Archangel Michael is one of the most powerful archangels in the realm. He's the protector of the realm. He's the protector of us. And if you're scared, yeah, just take a few minutes to connect with Archangel Michael. Now, let me show you. This is one of my pieces of art. This is my interpretation of Archangel Raphael. So I'm just going to set that here just for a minute so that you can connect in with the energy. And in your mind, just invite Archangel Michael to step forward and visualize him coming in. And with him, he brings a massive big purple vacuum funnel of energy. And that helps to remove all the negative or stagnant or the lower vibrations that are stuck in your aura that need cleaning away. So just in your mind, imagining like a tornado coming up from your crown, yeah, as he uses this vacuum to remove all this stagnant bring out his lovely, big, bright, silvery blue sword. And that would help you to cut any attachments that do not serve for your highest good. And Archangel Michael will cut these attachments only from your side, not from anybody else's side. You're only in control of you. So ask him to cut away those attachments. And as he cuts those lovely silvery cords away, ask Archangel Raphael to come in and place any healing that needs to be done from those cords that have been cut away. And see that beautiful emerald green energy come in and heal any of those wounds. And once those wounds have healed, then ask Angel Raphael to send out this lovely healing to your friends, to your family, and extend it out to all the lovely people in the world and the universe. And then throwing roots down from the soles of your feet deep into the ground to earth you. And visualising a beautiful bubble of healing light. Step into that healing light and know that you're basking in this wonderful energy. And you can invoke Archangel Michael or any of the angels at any point. And you can tailor these visualizations to suit your needs. So thank you for listening to me today. I hope that this has given you a little bit, because the thing is we forget to invite these angels in. And I know that, as I say, everybody's been struggling a little bit recently. So I feel that the angels are just saying, Wendy, remind everybody out here, we're here to help. And we'll help in any way we can, but we need to be invited. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. And thank you so much for joining me this evening. You can find me at divineintuition.co.uk. And my lovely angel artwork, you can find at wendymccallumart.co.uk. And my angel paintings or prints start from 1999. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. God bless.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Susanna Medium with Susanna Hershaw. Live from SusannaMedium.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Susanna Media on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
My wonderful friends, listeners, and viewers, thanks very much for tuning in and being here with me on the Ask One Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck TV. It's good to be back. And as I'm talking to you, starting my show, Susanna Medium, with your host, with myself, Susanna Medium, I am thinking of a country song with some banjo sounds and banjo playing. So my lovely friends, wherever you are listening and watching this show, anywhere in the world, whether it is live or replay or in 2 years' time or 5 years' time or, I don't know how many more years' time, if you remember, if you know, or if you still remember any folk music, any folky type music and playing the banjo, then make sure that you post under this particular show, because as I'm starting my show, once again, no idea. I can't think of any song with a banjo. So here we go. I was thinking of all different songs and getting ready for my show, but here we go. I'm always caught by surprise here. So here we go. So this is a psychic and mediumistic and spiritual show where we enjoy talking and love talking about anything spiritual, uplifting and soul empowering and encouraging and inspiring things and conversations. All of us, we are all very, very, I feel gifted. I wanted to say very inspiring, gifted, and very much dedicated to bringing you something very interesting, insightful conversation, and sometimes music, and sometimes dance, and some kind of other things as well. But then you see, you can never be prepared, and this is what happens when you are working with the energy. Oh my goodness, Mr. Day Prince, it always comes together, my show at the beginning. Well, it always comes together. That you can never prepare for anything. You know, let's take life that we can never prepare enough for what is coming to us into our lives. So I'm not talking about the current life 2023, but then isn't that just true that we cannot really prepare? We can have plans. We can have plan A, B, C, K, Z, all the different plans, but we can never really be prepared. And then in that sense, we can never really anticipate what is coming forward and what we are going to experience and what our life is going to be about. Now it's quite interesting because we can be all different types of people, and it's natural. We need to be alive. We need to be different. We need to embrace our own energies. And some of us are very organized. Some of us have plan A, B, C, K, Q, and so on for all the occasions, especially if you have bigger families, especially if you have bigger or more, not more important jobs, but then things when you really have to be organized, or maybe you've got a desk and you have plenty of buttons to press. You need to know what you are doing, and certain anticipation is always there. But then you see very often, and then see the other type of group like myself, we like being very eclectic. We can have A, B, C plan. We can be very organized. And then the time when we need to be organized, all the plans go out of the window, and we need to be spontaneous, and we need to be brave. We need to be playful, need to be very much in the present moment. So you see, we all come in different sizes and shapes and energies. But then what really brings us together, that our life is flowing, and we are here with this flowing and wonderful, wonderful energy, which is the life force we all share. And then just consider, you can always ask, where is that conversation coming, where you feel that you need to be very structured, where you need to know the plan, where you need to know every single step ahead, or even the very moment you need to know everything. You need to be organized. You need to be in control of things. Because if you are not in that way, then the world is going to fall apart, and then you might experience being a victim of your own situation, or you might blame other people, or blame all the guides and all the spirits, and you can blame anything and anybody, until we get that actually we cannot do that. We need to bring the energy back to ourselves. And while I'm saying this, because I used to feel that way, that very much stuck and blaming that colleague dealing or blaming that conversation or that situation or family member. We can have all different conversations, neighbors, all different things. But then the learning here for us while we are here in our current reality is to bring that awareness forward, that we cannot go down that path. We cannot blame others. We cannot have, even in that way, the anticipation. We can have plans, but we need to have the flexibility to adapt and to adjust our steps, our actions, our way of thinking, because this is what we need to do. Otherwise, our ego comes in and we are very much stuck in the moment. And even when opportunities arise, we might not be able to see those opportunities. So you see, I feel really the conversation is about have that flexibility. Interestingly, I wanted to talk to you about intention. So intention, I'm here in time and I'm thinking of a plan. I'm thinking my plan over there, completing my plan over there somewhere in the future. So I need to get from point A to point B, and I need to set my intention. And intention, putting all the energy behind that, I need to have my plan so I am able to complete whatever I want to complete my action. But then it's absolutely fine, because we need to have that, but we need to have that flexibility and really being with the energy. And then you see, going with the energy. And then in that sense, if you think that, I'm setting my intention here, and I'm very rigidly trying to control the situation and want to stick with my original plan, we are missing many, many very present moments. The present moments, how they come one after each other. And then you see, in that sense, if you feel that you have embraced that flexibility and the sense of humor and going with the energy, going with the flow and being playful and not really anticipating anything, but accepting and being grateful for what you are experiencing in every single moment, that then in that sense, you can set your intention in every single moment. So something is not working out, okay, I'm setting my intention, or I'm realigning my energy, or I'm thinking of something, I'm readjusting myself, I'm being flexible, I'm taking a breath, I'm looking around, or maybe stepping back and taking everything in and taking my next action from that space. And in that sense, even if you feel that something is not working out or has not worked out, and you feel very stuck and you feel like being a victim of your current situation, the invitation is really take a step back, take a breath. Maybe you might need to take a day or two just out, nothing or off, not even thinking about your own question. You see, the other day I had a reading with somebody, and then actually quite often it comes up that we really try to make something work. Changing a job, changing a situation, moving, or relationship conversations, and we are very rigid and we are constipated with the whole energy. And then very often just taking a day or two out for ourselves, then it brings a different energy. We are able to breathe. We engage with something else. We are talking to other people. We are putting everything to the side. And then when we are coming back to the original conversation a couple of days later, I wanted to say a couple of weeks later, that might be the case as well. But then we are able to see the situation with a fresh eyes, washed face and a clean head and all refreshed energy. And interesting, because my original conversation was about intention, talking about intention. And I started my show here really desperately trying to think in about 5 seconds to think about something banjo. Is still no idea. I'm trying to think of a banjo song. Or, actually I'm just thinking I should have something, a resource in front of me. So when I get something, I can really quickly just download something and be able to play the banjo, although it might hurt my fingers, So here we go. But then going back to the conversation, so you see, just like how I had the invitation to sing, name a song, it really, I'm not saying put me out of my original track, but then it's always wonderful how in the very moment, we are not stopping. I'm not stopping the show. I'm not sitting here and not talking, especially if you are watching or listening on the radio, and then you would wonder what is the long pause. When you are doing radio, you need to continuously talk and use your voice and being very animated with your presence. So it's not the way, if you feel that in your current life situation, you feel very overwhelmed, and in a way how you are dealing with the situation is freezing and not doing anything, not saying anything, not even waving, not even saying anything, or not even showing anything, then you just acknowledge that energy, because once you acknowledge that is the way how I am dealing with the situation, then you are able to change, you are able to move, and then you are able to learn something which is going to help you to move forward. Now, it's quite interesting because I'm still thinking of a banjo song. Can everyone? There is nobody in this room as I'm talking to you, because I would not have anybody here. But I wanted to have some kind of banjo. Come on then. Oh my goodness me! When you know that you've got 1 minute left at the end of your show, and then you are really desperately trying to think of something. It's like, you see, even with the energy, with the higher dimensional energy, we cannot really know what piece of information we are going to get. I cannot really know how life goes on, and you've got the same situation. You've got the same situation. So whether we are living in the present moment or living with the higher dimensional beings and energies, then you just go with the flow, have a playful and joyful energy, and by all means, put the music on John Van Denver. Thank God I'm a country boy. So there we go. You see, I am saved, and we are saved. And you see, I'm going to put that music on. And I know last time I was playing the air drums for about 4 days after that song. I already forgot that title, but doesn't matter, because now I'm going to do this one as well. And if you are playing a banjo, play along. By all means, play along. Life is about playing along, going with the flow, okay? So my lovely friends, 30 seconds here. I was your show host, Susanna Medium, from www.susannamedium.com. Always 9 letters. You know this very well. You can find it everywhere. And come back in 7 days' time. And Mr. Deep Producer, the team behind the scene, even our Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, thanks very much. This was my show 97, and see you back in 7 days' time. So play your banjo and take the music away, my lovely friend. Thank God I'm a country boy, country girl. Yes, so here we go. Bye for now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3 3147 or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio, or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Understanding Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
And welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. This is Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. While I'm waiting to see if any callers coming through today, I'm going to continue with our conversation last week with auras. The aura is a very complex energy system, and it does connect with the physical body and our spiritual existence as well. It's very important to control your aura, because we have to learn to protect ourselves with it, and also to control the energy around it with whatever's going on at the time. Sometimes you sense somebody coming very close to you, and you might not be happy with the energy that's coming through from that person. So that's what's happening on the outside. You know, the whole body is an energy field, an energy system. So, and then also internally, we have, the energy that is running through our body, flowing through our body continuously. There are ways to learn about your aura as well. There's an exercise that you can do if you're trying to develop. You can just get a person to sit on a chair and just sense their aura around them, just with your hands. Okay. Now I feel like we've got a caller coming through. I think it's Suzette. Suzette, are you there?
Hi.
Hi,
I am.
How are you? Where are you
Good.
from?
How are you? I'm from
good, thank
Barrie,
you.
Ontario.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. You are my first caller on this show. I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm going to try and muddle through, and hopefully I can give you everything that you need today. How can I help you today, Suzette?
I was wondering if you see any career opportunities opening up for me.
Okay. All right. So you're just after a psychic reading today?
Pardon?
You're after a psychic reading today about your life?
Oh, yes. A psychic reading for me, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll just have a look.
Hi.
I feel, Suzette, that you've actually got a lot of opportunities, right? I feel like if you just kind of take a moment to just sort of look at your opportunities, you'll realize that you have a lot more than you think. Does that make sense to you?
No, because I haven't applied for anything, and I was just trying to figure out which direction to go in.
Yeah, that's okay. If you just, I think that you, it doesn't matter if you haven't applied for anything just yet. If you have a look at your options, you'll see that you have a lot of options for you. I also see that you may need to do a little bit of studying. I see it being more like online or a short course of something to get your foot in the door.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was
Are
looking
you-
to become a Pilates instructor.
Sorry, a body what?
A Pilates instructor?
Okay, all right. So have you studied for that yet?
No, there's an opportunity to study for it in September.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So I feel like that is a good direction for you to go in. I do feel that you are also quite interested in the body. I feel like you could also like veer off from Pilates as well and be an instructor for other things too, anything regarding the body. So you're going to have more choices. All right. Are you interested in bodybuilding or teaching and instructing that at all?
I am.
Yeah, because I can see you being successful in that area too.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
Because I was looking at holistic nutrition as well.
Yeah, my guide's giving you three ticks for that. I'm also seeing like juices and that with you, like especially a green one, anything that has like kale, you know, spinach, all those kind of things. And I feel like that's something that you would recommend for people as well. Are you juicing already for yourself?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just like
because I
toying
feel
around
like
with
when
my
you
own
start,
stuff.
yeah, because I feel like you'll start to try a few different ones, and then you'll be recommending them also to any clients that you have. But I do see that anything that
Okay.
goes the natural sort of way is good for you. I am also being told by my guide that down the track, not straight away, but down the track, as you sort of like get your foot in the door and that, I also see potentially this is something that you can produce yourself, your own line of like juices and that. But I don't see like a big selection. I see like maybe like 5, 6 kind of different kinds of flavors. But this is in the future. It's not right now. I just feel like at the moment you've got to do your studying and kind of get your foot in the door and start. I'm also getting like yoga for you as well. Are you interested in teaching yoga? Because I see like the whole spiritual side coming in as well, and a lot of breathing techniques.
I am actually. I was looking at that as well, and I wanted to do it with kids.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's actually really good for children to learn how to center themselves. I feel my guide's showing me when she was saying that you have a lot of choices. This is what she was talking about. So like the Pilates, where you're wanting to start, the yoga, bodybuilding, all those kind of things, the nutrition, right? I just see like once you start, the floodgates just kind of really open up for you regarding all this stuff.
Oh.
It's just getting the start right, just starting off.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. It's just getting yourself in the right place, around the right people. She's telling me just make connections constantly. I feel like you have a very bubbly personality, and that people are drawn to you naturally because of it. So I feel like it would be very easy to kind of network around this. Does that make sense? Do you resonate with that?
Yeah, I'm like that. Yeah, I'll talk to everybody.
Yeah, beautiful. You're lovely. You're my kind of person. I talk to everyone.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what we need more of, in the world. And so I just see that
Yeah.
that is. Yeah, go on, Suzette.
Do you see writing a book?
So reading a book.
Oh, no, writing a book, a kid's book?
Oh, for you, yes. I can see you doing that 100%. All right. And okay, my guide's giving you, I don't have too much time, but my guide's giving you some direction with this. And remember, Spirit can just give you suggestions. You don't have to do what Spirit says. You do have free will. But I see that the book is a spiritual book. It's kind of camouflaged in a kid's story, but you're teaching spirituality and exercise, and how to open up and connect, for kids to learn how to do it, and just to open up and go from 3-dimensional kind of thinking into 4-dimensional thinking and appreciation of spirit in their early years. But my guide is saying make sure that you incorporate protecting with the white light, placing the ribbon of white light around them, and also placing themselves in a bubble of white light. But she is giving me a 3 thumbs up for that. So definitely work on it. And I feel like Spirit is going to guide you along the way with all of this as well. I hope that's helped you today, Suzette.
It has. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Good luck with everything. All right, and I wish you all the best with your career.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this.
You're very, very welcome. Take care.
You too.
All right, bye. All right. Well, I wish her all of luck. Everything that I was seeing was so great for her. Enjoy your day. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for energy, healing, and spirit talk with Tammy Petricelli. Live from TammyPetricelli.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello. How are you today? Thank you so much for joining me. It's Tammy Petrocelli. This is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk. And it is a lovely, lovely Tuesday afternoon here in Newark, Delaware. And since it's about energy, all kinds and all forms of energy, you guys got to be feeling it. We've got the, remnants of the full moon was last week. We've got Mercury in Aquarius. It's going into retrograde, I think, next week. And then we're going to be followed by another full moon while in retrograde. And wow, August is just throwing it all at us, isn't it? But that's okay, because I'm here to remind you to just take a breath. Take a breath before you begin to say how you really feel. Nothing wrong with saying how you really feel, but you do want to make sure that your words are not harmful, they're not too harsh, that you're getting your point across, you're responding, not reacting. This is going to be really, really important in the next month, the next 3 to 4 weeks at least. So I just want to remind you that the old-fashioned counting to 10 before you speak or respond is really, really important right now. So before we take our call, I want to remind you that there is still a drawing for a free reading. And all you need to do is go onto my Facebook page, Tammy D. Petrocelli Medium, and that's 2 C's, 2 L's, 2 M's in Tammy also. And just like or follow the page or both. Make a comment. I saw you on Moonstruck.tv, or I listened to you on A1R Psychic Radio, and you are automatically entered into a drawing for a free Zoom reading with me, and we will work it out. The last one was in Australia. We worked out the time. Okay, so that's all you need to do. Also, I want to quickly say, if you are interested in a reading with me, you can communicate with me through Facebook, through the phone number there, through email. Letters that are very cryptic are not going to be helpful. So that's what you need to do. Tony in Oak Hills, California. I hope you've got great weather. Do you have great weather?
It's very hot.
Very hot. We've been very hot, and today we're so grateful for a breeze. We had the tornado last night come through, but that's what it took to break this heat wave, and we had little to no damage, so we're doing good. Tony, thanks for joining us. And how can I help you today? Would you like me to connect you to a loved one on the other side, or do you have questions that you'd like answers to?
Probably questions, I guess.
All right. What's going on?
Well, I just I guess, want to know where I'm heading right now.
Are you considering moving, please, or did you just move?
I have just moved, but I'm considering moving, yes.
Again, okay, so that's why I got moving right there. So that's why I said, did she just move or is she moving again? Yeah, I feel like you're not jiving with where you are, that, you were looking for maybe some different things to happen while you were there that aren't. Are you between Central? I have no idea where Oak Hills is. Are you more between center to north of California?
I would say more Orange County. Does that help you?
Oh, you're more south.
Yeah.
I feel then what they're trying to tell me is a little more north instead of a little more south for you. Did you move for a job? or are you still looking for a job?
No, I didn't move for a job. I'm actually just turned 60 years old. Yeah,
It's time for you to make those decisions to make it move forward. Um, but you moved by yourself, is that correct?
no.
Okay. Because I'm feeling like this decision has to be yours, your decision.
The
If that
upcoming decision.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And so sometimes we have to put emotion secondary to our well-being needs. Okay. Um, I'd like to see you sit with this information. Okay. Sit with this information and make your decisions based on your needs. Pull emotion out of it. And then once you feel like you're making the right decision, how does that feel to you? Does that emotionally, is that a decision that you feel that you're comfortable with enough? And I say comfortable with enough because you're going to really feel you already do. You already feel out of your comfort zone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you're going to have to push out of that comfort zone again in order to be happy and settled.
Okay.
So you're thinking about all of this, but you haven't really made any decisions at all, have you?
No.
Yeah, you're not even looking into what your options are, is what I feel. And that's really important for you because you're very left brain. Students will be giving readings. You can find all of that information under events on my Facebook. Click on more, click on events, and you'll be able to see what's coming up. And I want to thank you guys so much for being with me today. And I will see you same time next week. Bye. And I'll be in Lewis, Delaware next week. Bye-bye.
With Marie. I have a special guest tonight, Susan She'll be on in just a moment. But of course, I just want to say my website, if anybody wants a reading for intuitive or for mediumship reading, it's at AntoinetteMarie.net. And of course, you can find me at Instagram, Soul Tea with Marie, Facebook. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me. And I have workshops coming up in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania on the afterlife and what happens when we get to the other side. So, but enough about me. I want to introduce my very good friend, Susan. She does crystallography, and she's going to explain everything about that. So, hi, Susan.
Hello.
Or Susie. I like to call her Susie. Susan's so proper. But this is Susie, and she had her spiritual, well, I want to say you had your spiritual awakening quite a while ago, if you haven't always pretty much been awakened. I want to get into the crystallography and what you do, and my friend is also a singer, so it goes along with the crystallography. But I want to talk about your spiritual awakening first, and then we'll move into crystallography. So how did you come about being aware of what was around you and your sixth sense?
Well, I think as a child, I first remember feeling really connected to the elements, just dancing by the ocean. My grandparents had a cottage by the ocean. And I remember listening to the ocean like it was the first symphony to me. And I would sit at the piano and feel like I was writing something amazing. I'm not sure what it sounded like, but so I always kind of felt very tuned into nature and just the idea of flow, and training as a young ballet dancer with other people in space. But I would say about the 17, I started meditating. I started listening to music in the space of what is the message that's being delivered, and thinking about music as vibration and music as healing. And I started to study martial arts and a little bit of Qigong, and that started to inform a lot of the movement work I was doing. So I would say early on, and then the age of 17 really was the beginning.
I've heard your music for years now. For those who don't know, people that are watching, Susie, not only does she sing, she also writes her own music. She plays guitar. She plays the piano. She does it all. And what I have found with your music, it's almost as though you're channeling healing into your music, or you're channeling the words, and the frequency at which you sing. It's very angelic almost. It's as though the sounds and the words are coming from your higher self, and it's coming down into the earth realm, we'll say. And then it comes out of your mouth and you sing it, and it's beautiful. Would you agree, or what do you think?
Well, that is very kind of you. I sang a little bit as a kid in chorus, but I actually started dreaming that people were bringing me guitars at about the age of 19. And, it would be like Jewel or like Steven Tyler, or it could be like Tori Amos and I were flying around, or whoever it was. And I found a guitar in my sister's attic at the age of 19. And by the end of that night, I had already written a song. And I remember going to my first open mic, not even knowing how to play a chord on the guitar. And when I got up on stage, I felt the room. I felt everyone in the room. And even from that moment, it didn't feel like it was about me. I wanted to be singing what the room needed. And music has always felt that way to me, that the songs feel like sometimes they're delivered. They usually come quickly. And I'm fascinated with a line of melody and the undercurrent of frequency that carries that line, and how you can record something and then people can hear it months and years later and still feel the vibration of emotion in that music and still feel spiritually connected. And I just am eternally fascinated and in love with that process. And yeah, I mean, it often feels like it's coming from somewhere else. But a lot of what I'm singing now is, you know, what I would say is, just like normal folk songs, or I don't really know what style I would even classify myself as. Sometimes my voice is very bluesy, sometimes my voice is angelic. Like, I'm not sure day to day, but
Yeah, no, well, I think spirit actually leads your voice or leads the music into where you're going. I want to talk about the crystallography in just a moment, but you touched on something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but it happens to a lot of people. It's almost a taboo subject. We can channel people, or we can. So as a medium, I talk to people on the other side. I talk to and then they also come in dreams. And you had said you dreamed with Jewel or Steven Tyler, and I just want to talk about that. Just for talk about it for just for a moment. I know it's like, oh, should we really talk about that? But we're going to, because people need to hear it. When I was younger, Madonna used to come to me in a dream, and she would be, I think usually all in black, but we would go up like a hill, and there would be a bench at the top of the hill, and we would sit down. This was the dream. This is the whole dream. And she would say, "Okay, Antoinette, so where are you in your life? These are the goals that you wanted to get done, and you're not reaching them yet, or you have so much time." And so this went on and went on and went on. She used to come to me quite a few, and that would be the dream. We just meet at the bench, and she'd ask me about my life and if I was reaching the goals. And then the last dream, she said, some of these things you wanted to do, you're running out of time. And I wrote a song about it, about only having a few minutes left. And when you hear that song, it's going to resonate with you, and you're going to know your time is running out. And sure enough, she came out with the song 4 minutes. And I was like, oh no. And I never ended up going down that road that I wanted to go down. I ended up going down a different road. But I 100% believe that Jewel came to you and Steven came to you. And I mean, what did they say to you?
they told me that I was from their planet. They would say to me, you're one of us. And I feel very silly saying that. But I think, Jewel is incredible because she is so herself. She is so in her spirit, and she is so connected to where she grew up and to nature. And if you read her poetry early on, I mean, she just was so connected to the earth magic, the elementals, the water, the mountains, the earth of where she grew up, and she still is. And she was one of the first people that came to me. She just said, you're one of us, and she handed me the guitar, and she said, you're from our planet, or something like kooky like that. But I oftentimes have dreams like that, like you, as you know. And Madonna was actually on a vision board of mine in 2001. And I actually ended up working for her maybe 5 years later. So, I mean, I think that these people, I think of them as almost like, it sounds silly, but almost like modern day angels, because we hear their music. Again, you hear the frequency that they're out, their frequency is out there. And then I feel like that frequency can reach us at different times, like dream, or like when you hear a song in the radio. I really feel like spirit delivers music at certain times, and I try to believe that if you are in your soul and you really are here to connect with people, for me, through music or whatever, that
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And I think that the music brings healing. Even, you know, I mean, Madonna did dance music, and you could say, oh, that wasn't the soulsy, bluesy like Bob Dylan. It didn't move you, but I think it moves certain people. You know, everybody hears a frequency in a different way, and every soul, every person needs a different type of I'm just gonna go with the music, but it could be books, it could be anything. You know, everybody resonates differently with something different. So sure, it could be Madonna, it could be Bob Dylan, it could be Jewel. I believe that we're all from different planets, and yeah, if she said you're from her planet, she's probably talking about the musical planet. I know. Susie, you're like, hold on, this is not what we agreed to talk about. You're totally outing me right now. But I think this is important because there are people that are going to watch this and they've had all these experiences and they think they're crazy. About crystallography. What is it?
So there's an incredible goddess of water, and this woman, Vita Austin, who I found maybe under a year ago, she's doing some incredible work with water, and where she's crystallizing the water. And similar to Dr. Masaru Emoto, who measured crystallography through, you know, Bach or Beethoven, or even a thought or sending an emotion to the water, and they would measure the crystals that formed. Vita is carrying on work like that, but she figured out a way to do this that you didn't need a fancy lab. You didn't need, you know, certain temperature control or whatever. And I found her. And the moment I found her, I knew that I was supposed to sing my songs into the water. It was like my soul was like, you need to sing your songs into the water. And the thought was, we are made largely of water. And I wanted to record a record or EP that would be the most healing for the planet at this time. So I was thinking, if I sing these songs into the water, maybe I'll be able to see which songs create the most extraordinary crystals, and maybe those will be the songs that I choose to put on a record. So there's a song called We Are Instruments that I had written maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I sang this song to this little dish of water in this hotel when I was in between moving, and I froze the water. And when I took the water out of the freezer, I had sung this line, which was, we are instruments, we are not machines, we're made of nature, the stars and the trees. And this beautiful tree formed in the water. And I'm sitting in the hotel by myself, and I'm like, that's a tree. And there's a butterfly, and there's like an angel person tree. And I was really overtired, and I was just kind of like, okay. But my soul, you know, on the other hand, was like, yes, there's the tree. And so from that point forward, I have been continuously getting images, and it's been one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. It's like what we know about the power of the word, the power of our intention, the power of frequency, all of these things that musicians know in their heart is what I'm seeing in the water. It's almost like the water is sculpting what I'm singing about, and it's doing it in its own way. And I'm just collaborating with the water. It's like, it's tricky to explain.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So take us step by step of what you do. So what type of dish? What do you mean? Is Is it clear? Is it colored? What?
Well, Vita actually teaches a course. So if people are really interested, they should check out Vita Austin as well. But I basically, you're singing into like a like a little dish of like a glass dish of water, and
So it's a clear glass dish.
and if people see my crystallography, they'll see the water in the dish. And she teaches you, how much water to put in there and how to do it. I think it's both sort of an intuitive thing for me about when to go get this dish of water. And also the biggest thing is that remaining open, because there's a lot of times where there's been an image that is formed and I didn't see it right away, but I, took a photo of it, and like even the next morning, I'm looking at it and going, oh, there's the shape of an angel, or there's this very relevant story that had to do with the song I was. And so basically, I'm connecting with the water, and sometimes, I mean, it depends on what I'm singing. The other night I was singing something that had to do with aligning to the light, and so I was moving in ways to influence the water as well.
So
And
did you add dance to it?
I kind of did, like
That's awesome.
from a dance, but I mean, the idea of divine flow and flow is has been through my whole life. And there's actually Isadora Duncan, who I call my sort of passed away mentor, used to say something like light waves, sound waves, wave waves, it's all the same. And she was very into the ocean as well. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just with the water and sort of praying in song to the water, and then you just let the water do its thing, because as Vita says that water is not a resource, it is source, which I think is one of the most powerful statements. And so I can't control what forms, I'm just think that since I've started doing this work, it's really made me remember, collaborate with other humans is the same way. I mean, you can't control what happens, but if you're both out of the way, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. You're right. I like that water is source, because we are. Aren't we 80% water?
I think more than that, actually. I don't know what the exact number is. There's varying, opinions on that, but we are largely made of water. And you think about it, when you are very happy or you're very sad and you cry salt and water. I've always been fascinated with this. And so it's like we are water, or I think about so the fact that the water is, forming these expressions of what I'm singing about, it makes sense, And so the idea is that live water constantly updates, but when water crystallizes, it holds that frequency. So if I'm holding the line, it's holding that frequency. Instagram, and she has a whole website and everything for what she's doing. I mean, she's found similar patterns between multiple people with the same words, even similar crystallization has been formed. Yeah. So, I mean, it's incredibly fascinating. For me personally, I just felt like an EP called We Are Instruments, and it's basically about the fact that we're conscious and that we are vibrating. Human. What does it do to the water in their body?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of my thought, of hopefully them being healing.
So if someone wants to see the crystallography that you've produced, where would we go see that? And then if the person that you said we should really check out, who is the originator, what are those two?
So Beta Austin is the person who I found. She's on Instagram. I think she's got a whole website if you look her up. Dr. Emoto did work about this years ago. I mean, you can probably find him anywhere as well. I am at right now just at the Susan Chamberlain on Instagram. I'm still working on putting a site together, and but that's really where I'm kind of, putting out some of these images and also posting some of my music as I'm writing it and as I'm putting together this We Are Instruments.
Right. That is awesome. Well, thank you, Susie, for being on my show. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
But for anyone that wants to check her crystallography out, please go to her website or to her Instagram, but also her music as well. Is your song on there? We Are Instruments. Can they find that?
We Are Instruments is on there. The tree that formed is on the top of my Instagram, and there's pieces of We Are Instruments. I'm working on, you know, putting some orchestrals and different instruments into We Are Instruments. But I try to remain as raw as possible and just show like what I actually sing to the water.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Namaste.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Medicine for Your Spirit with Raylene Byrne. Live from RayleneByrne.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Medicine for Your Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Namaste, everybody. Big hugs and love from my end of the world. This is Raylene Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. Boy, are we in for a big month. Oh my goodness, it's already started. We've got the full moon at the start of this month, which we've just had. We've got a full moon at the end of the month. So we've got these bookends. And there's a lot of watery energy around this month with the sign of Leo, which is fire. There's air, fire, water. A lot of emotional purging, a lot of stuff coming up for people to really finally make peace with or finally let go of. So I would just advise people, there's a couple of things I've been telling people in my world, and that is practice kindness, practice patience, and practice mindfulness this month. And if that's really hard, practice silence. Just really pull your energy in. So this morning, I went for a walk on my beach, and I was having a conversation with someone around being selfish. Not accusation, it was just a conversation. And it was really interesting because there's so much judgment around the inverted commas, the term of selfish, being selfish, acting selfishly. So when I sat and thought about it afterwards, I'm really in this place of, is it selfish to honor ourselves? Is it selfish to think for yourself and do what feels right for you? Is it selfish to follow through with actions that are meaningful? Care. But right now, we've got to start looking at how a lot of so we need to take a lot of vocabulary for honouring other people themselves and how, what it's like to do for yourself. that we can your day or week to sit down and call to feel free, or I want to feel supported, or I want to feel secure, or
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's number one. Live from nourish.etsy.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-215. Contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio, or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Sacred Insight on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
To Sacred Insights, I am Andrea Bacon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're doing great. So today we're going to chat about the energies of the Lion's Gate. Today is the 8th of the 8th, and I've only worked with the Lion's Gate energy since I think it was about 2015 or so when I first heard about it. And I wasn't sure whether or not it was just like some type of new age concept that didn't really have much to it, or if it was actually something really helpful to work with and use in my spiritual practice. And I have come to realize that it definitely does have significance. So, like many people on the spiritual path, I believe that we are here to grow, evolve, as individuals and as a collective. And I feel like this helps us expand the universe and the collective consciousness as well as ourselves when we do this. So this energy energies first are very significant and powerful. Are in the energy and spiritually connect to more fulfilling lives. And there is a mantra in Sanskrit that is used after meditation. And it goes Sat, Chit, Ananda. And that means truth, consciousness, and bliss. Now, when we next is air, called Vayu in Sanskrit, and that governs movement. And then next is fire, or Tejas, which governs transformation. And then we have water, the element of water, or Jala, which governs cohesiveness, and earth, or Prithvi in Sanskrit, which governs form. So we can harness the Mahabhutas in our body, in our mind, in the world to create our lives, which we do on a daily basis by the choices that we make. So we can, add some of these things in. So I have pulled some cards ahead of time. So we have this card, all this green is standing out here, and it's saying idyllic times, the garden and paradise. And that's kind of what we're creating in our own lives and in the world. Standing out to me, it feels significant, as well as the owl in the picture here. Okay, the symbolism. Symbolizes renewal and purification, new beginnings and protection. And the owl symbolizes protection. Seeing in the dark, it represents working with the goddess and the divine feminine. Now, these are transformative times that we are in right now, and working with this energy that spirit presents us with through certain things like this Lionsgate portal or whatever energies, we are in, really helps us to bring in a more peaceful, idyllic scenario. And I have been channeling this message that like my spirit guides have been giving to me for a few days, which is stay close to the natural all the time. So you can check that out if you want, but you can
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for the Mini Medium with Stephanie Cowan. Live from tarotwithsteph.net. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888